It's match time on Montezuma Mesa. The SDSU Sports Deck is lit up and all set for a Thursday night tilt on Pac-12 women's soccer. It's the Pacific Tigers and the San Diego State Aztecs. And with that, we welcome you into San Diego. I'm David Gentile here to take you through this one. This Tiger squad off to an 0-2 start under second-year head coach Jeff Freeman. Losses against Sacramento State and Nevada. Gave up 5 on the road against Sac State. Rebounded to take a second-half lead against the Wolfpack, but Nevada struck for 2 goals for the win in Stockton. So Pacific looking for a first result on the season. San Diego State under Mike Friesen already with a couple wins, coming off a 1-0 victory over Portland State on Sunday. The Aztecs have been sharp on the defensive side. The only goal they've given up so far, a PK against 10th-ranked Washington, back on match day 2. Megan Townsley is pitch side tonight. Megan, set this one up for us.
David, the scoreline versus Portland State did not tell the full story for the Aztecs. San Diego State had 20 shots with many goal-scoring opportunities, but before tonight's match, Coach Friesen told us he's still looking for more of a killer instinct. Well, senior Kenny Moore has shown flashes of that with 2 goals from deep range, including the game winner versus Portland State. On the other side of the match, Pacific is bringing an athletic group to the sports deck, and Coach Freeman said they're creating an exciting brand of soccer. Johanna Bell bought into that with her first collegiate goal versus Nevada last Thursday, and she currently leads her team in points. Back to you, David.
Tigers and the Aztecs about to walk out for the introduction of the starting 11. Both of these sides, and when we come back, we'll get you those starters and kick this thing off. It's Pac-12 women's soccer at the SDSU Sports Deck. San Diego State about ready to kick us off here in the scarlet and black, attacking right to left in the opening 45. Pacific in the road whites, attacking left to right. For the Tigers, Ava Wells in net, along with Ashlyn DeJoya, Whitney Garn, Gianna Gagliano, Sadie Fletcher, Kaya Rosa, Janelli Villagran, who they're happy to welcome back into the fold. Canyon Tucker, Michaela Marin Valencia, Abigail Seawright, and Nora Colin, the 11 for Jeff Freeman. Second-year head coach and made a lot of noise last season. Some big-time wins over Utah State and Santa Clara. Also drew Cal Poly away. That's a result against 3 conference champions. They've allowed 7 goals over the first 2 matches and looking to face a San Diego State team that's in some good offensive form, but looking to be a little more goal dangerous as well for Mike Friesen's group. 20th year head coach and the 2-time Mountain West Coach of the Year. Tigers play a long one over the top, and you see Kaylee Carlin for the first time for SDSU, the Week 1 Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Week. Out there with Naima Castro, Charlie Gerson, Lily Bidet, Kenny Moore, who's got both match winners for San Diego State. Victoria Miller, Alexis Nakamoto, Alexis Leith, Katie Sen, Emma Fuller, and Brianna Geiger. Couple changes for both of these teams compared to their last matches. For Pacific, the 2-1 loss at home against Nevada. Phelan Berkowitz, Julie Valdez, Avery Thal making way for Garn Villagrán, who makes her season debut, and Michaela Marin Valencia, who scored the team's first goal of the season at Sac State, but missed the last match. Here's Nakamoto for SDSU. Watched defensively by Fletcher, dispossessed, but not before a foul, so free kick for San Diego State. Naima Castro and Brianna Geiger into the starting 11, and KK Chawana Bandu and Ava Weiss taking a seat for the Aztecs. 2-0 win at UC San Diego to start the season. The 1-0 loss against 10th-ranked Washington. The only goal they've given up this year was on a penalty against the Huskies in that second half. And then saw off Portland State in a 1-0 win on Sunday. And for Mike Friesen, big points of emphasis coming into this week, just taking it back to making the game really simple. So I thought we've seen some moments so far where we'll just overcomplicate things, get outside of ourselves a little bit. Likes his team when it's on the ball the best, when we're just moving the ball, simple passes, see him right in front of you, then move it around, get on that build, create numbers, then go and be dynamic. The Aztecs like their ability to long build out the back, especially with the back 3 that they've been able to deploy, and Carlin joining in on a little bit more of that after a stellar freshman season as San Diego State's keeper. So looking to get involved a little more on the build this season for SDSU. They probe out the back, and that one is taken on the other side by Carlin's counterpart, Ava Wells. They went with Liz van Hervijn in the Dutch International on match day number 1. On the wrong end of a 5-2 scoreline, so turned it over to Wells, his freshman out of Kennesaw, Georgia, who Jeff Freeman and his staff are really excited about, and good chance we'll be seeing both of these keepers a little bit early on in the season. Freeman saying about Wells, look at that recruiting class. I think she's a top 10 keeper to come out of the entire class. A big assignment here on the road in San Diego tonight. Whitney Garn rejoining the starting 11 for this one for the Tigers. Playing it up that left side. Emma Fuller takes it back for San Diego State. Looks for that simple pass out the back. A lot of what the Aztecs do goes through Katie Sen in the middle of the park. Finds Alexis Nakamoto back to that near side, facing a little bit of pressure from Fletcher. Kind of loose on the ball that time, Nakamoto, so the Aztecs will reset along the back. Pass unlocks Sen into the middle of the park, lifts one for Leith, who was especially dangerous on the left side against Portland State. But right now it's Sadie Fletcher who's got speed to burn for the Tigers out on that right side. Can't run through a couple Aztec defenders. SDSU gets back on it. Pacific can reset up with a little bit of counter pressure. And San Diego State stays on possession. Mike Friesen saying feel really good about this group. I think we're a really good team, and that even coming off that win on Sunday, I was disappointed with the performance on the soccer side of it. Now excited about the fact that we can get a result even though we weren't playing our best. But, still in that time of year, very early days. We need to win games. We need to get results to set ourselves up. The one thing he likes about his Aztec group is the improved depth from past years. A lot of depth, a lot of versatility. Tigers chasing it back to their own goal. Just keep that thing in play. And the throw-in goes back for San Diego State. Gerson applying the pressure there on Rosa. Haley Morahone in charge of this one. Nathan Max, Roxana Guillen, and Jared Campbell, the fourth official. A little more than 5 minutes gone on the sports deck. Second of a double-header day. On the semester kickoff, saw men's soccer a little bit before we got this one going. See through a 7-1 win over NAIA Life Pacific and a second straight doubleheader match day here on the deck. Victoria Miller got a goal in the opener against UC San Diego. Back on the move, and DeJoya will track this thing down. Watch it out for Pacific. Trying to turn, and the Tigers pick up a foul. Now, Jeff Raymond saying that every day that we've trained, we've gotten better. Game by game, we've gotten better. And everything I'm seeing with our group right now, I believe that that will continue to be the case going forward. So it's all about the build-up, all going into West Coast Conference play. A daunting league, as is the newly reformed Pac-12. But he said we want to have our identities in place, work through all of that in non-conference, get to a point where we feel really good about what we've got. It's a fairly young group and seeing a good amount of freshmen involved early on in the season. Likes where the recruiting piece is at as they try and build off some splashy wins from a year ago. Drive one into the box. Numbers look good in there. Cut out by San Diego State. Defensive intervention that time from Lily Bidet. Now the Aztecs look to get off and running, trying to play Naima Castro forward, and now bring it back for a Pacific free kick. A free kick here for the Tigers. Gagliano going to work along that back line with Seawright. Looks to pick out the pass forward, overshoots it, had Marin Valencia coming back. And all the way out for a San Diego State goal kick. Tiger team that likes its athleticism, and they want to find ways early on in the season to play to some of that strength. Of course, last year it was the central midfield that ran things for this group. Aniela Jensen and Taylor Curtis were terrific mainstays. Jensen, by the way, now playing pro down in New Zealand. But it's a younger group, feel like they've got that extra boost of athleticism. He said this year we might have a little less savviness to start. So we're going to use that athletic nature that we have and that ability to try and expose some teams. So it could lead to a faster, open-ended type of game. Mike Friesen's aware of that. He said, for us, it's about the calmness today. Game starts to open up a little bit, get a little more chaotic. How do we calm things down in those kind of moments? Pacific in the build, 4 in the back. Squad that usually sets up in a 4-3-3, trying to gain the attacking third here. Geiger chases it down, back on for Carlin. Now Aztecs can look to make their move forward. One thing for them is if they are trying to calm the game down, playing with a longer build out of this 3-6-1 is a good way to do it. Very controlled, very measured approach, team that's not in a hurry to blitz forward or get up with the pitch. Aztecs quickly take it back off the throw. Looks to get going the other way as we come up on 10 minutes gone here. Still without a shot at the sports deck. This is Emma Fuller. Plays it in for Castro, finds Leith, who's got Nakamoto running on the left side. The Hawaii native out of Wahiawa had that one cross the line before she could corral it. Lots of numbers on that right side. Aztecs found the space, worked through it. And these two Put a lot of threats on the Portland State goal last time around. Nakamoto in her junior campaign. Leith, a sophomore from San Diego, who showed out in conference play last year, tied for the Aztec lead with 5 goals last season. Now Sen working through traffic. Out wide for Leith. As Nakamoto running behind, Leith trying to turn the corner. Gagliano there with her step for step. So Leith will figure to be a big part of what San Diego State does in the attack. And really has that ability to get past people, try and create some havoc in the box. Mike Friesen saying anytime we can get her isolated out there, that's a positive, and we're just encouraging her continue to try and get in the penalty box. Those box entries, always a good metric you look at. Something that can be a game changer as they continue to build it out. Numbers here for Pacific as they try and get the speed of Sadie Fletcher going. Fletcher toward the top of the 18, tried to play one in with the left, and the Aztecs cut that one out. Marin Valencia as well, the San Francisco native, off to the left side. And Fletcher had an accomplished track background for the North Ogden, Utah native. That's some of that athleticism that you're talking about for Pacific. Sen wins possession back for the Aztecs off the throw, only to see Vila Gran intervene. Turn in the midfield. Sen forcing the action. Working through some contact. The Aztecs can get going, and now they'll bring it back for a free kick. And oh, there was some extended contact throughout that run. I'm not sure why advantage wasn't played there for SDSU. Extra pull and grab of the jersey. Yeah, at that point, just let it go. The attack was already on the move. They had help coming up the left side. Play should have continued there for San Diego State. If you're going to bring that back for the foul, you do it initially when it's happening, not after the ball's gone. They'll get a cross in here, skip down into the box, and the Aztecs meet it on the other end and grab an early first half lead. A lot of those movements coming down that left side, and San Diego State, there's the connection between Nakamoto and Leith. And Sen runs onto it, first time touch, lifts it over Wells, and puts the Aztecs up 1-0. The second team All-Mountain West performer had an assist on Kenny Moore's match winner on match day number 1 at UC San Diego. And Sen, who's had a terrific career setting up teammates, gets a goal of her own there. This one is chested down in the box. Good look right away off the restart from Kaya Rosa of Pacific. Ends up out for a San Diego State goal kick. 46 NCAA cap for Sen, who had 2 goals a year ago. That's her 3rd NCAA tally, and Megan Townsley has more.
David, Katie Sen's journey to this point is absolutely remarkable. She battled severe scoliosis that required an 8-hour spinal fusion surgery, followed by an extended ICU stay and lengthy rehab. After redshirting her junior year, Sen came back in 2025 and had an extremely amazing breakout year, leading the Aztecs in both points and assists, and with her 8 assists was the most in the Mountain West. To say her journey is incredible would be an understatement. David?
Thank you, Megan. She was also named a finalist for the Honda Inspiration Award, one of only 3 nationally among NCAA female student athletes. 2 Aztecs among that group, matter of fact, for overcoming significant adversity. And somebody on top of all of that who, and you ask Mike Friesen, anytime, any part of year Sen's active for this group, you ask him who the impact players are, and she's always at the top of that list. A lot of it is about the composure, dictating with tempo from the middle of the park. That time she found herself with an off-ball run to go and find her first goal of the season. 17th NCAA point, that breakout last year. 2 goals and 8 assists. 8 assists, tied for second most among Mountain West student athletes. And Pacific looking to make some early changes here. Avery Thal will check into the match alongside Johanna Bell. Thal, the junior out of Fruit Heights, Utah. Picked up an assist so far on the season. And Bell, who's got a point in each of the first 2 matches for the sophomore out of Oklahoma City. Good involvement last year, playing in 19 contests. Already a goal and an assist this season. First collegiate tally against Nevada last time around. It gave the Tigers a lead that they would enjoy for about 10 minutes of the second half, where the Wolfpack struck for 2. So subs just after the 15-minute mark. In NCAA women's soccer, you go off in the first half, no re-entry until the second 45 of action. You come off in the second half, you can come back into action one time. But for the first subs to be around 15 minutes, tell you that Jeff Freeman's really seeing something that he wanted to flip, try and inject some energy and a different look into this group. They'll build here with 3 in the back. Aztecs can back to Ava Wells on the Pacific back line. 50-50 ball. Gerson steps in. Wins possession for San Diego State. Both Nakamoto and Leith picking up assists there for SDSU. And a really nicely done team goal, and Nakamoto, an ocean of space to work back into here. Gets it back to the goal scorer, Sen. Sen has a go with the left, and it's caught by Wells. Bringing a couple defenders in, finds the space to shoot, and trying her luck for a second. Pretty well struck that time by Sen, but ended up being right at the Tiger keeper. Now the Aztecs playing through Kenny Moore. This time they try the right side. Victoria Miller had her attempted cross blocked. San Diego State settles on it, keeps the move going. Fuller back for Nakamoto. Setting up onto her left, riding out a challenge, and away by the Tigers and Gagliano. Now Pacific trying to find some space to counter. I'll play it over the top. That's not where the run was going from Rosa, and San Diego State can settle back on it here with Carlin. First point of the season for Leith, who had 5 goals and an assist a year ago. And Nakamoto for San Diego State also picking up her first point of the season. 2 goals, freshman campaign back in 2024. Last year, 2 assists for SDSU. But this left side build, that's where the Aztecs are continuing to do most of their work. No nonsense that time from Abigail Seawright in the back. Now, this is a positive development early this season for San Diego State. They didn't have a lot of that offensive punch last year that you're used to seeing out of a Mike Friesen team. Coach saying we just didn't have enough in the attack to try and unbalance groups. Then that's part of what Leith is spearheading for this team right now. Says there are times when she has the advantage, both speed and quickness that we want to isolate her. Sometimes it's 2v1. It actually put her a little more central to start the Portland State match. Saw how things were developing. They had a big bit of the ball in that one, 59% possession overall. And said, let's see if we can move Leith out wide and get her going. She did in the second half. And it was just time and again that she was bearing down on the Viking goal. You got 2 dangerous options in Moore and Miller connecting on the right side. So it's more kind of the speed dynamic in the open space for Leith and Nakamoto. But there's a lot of quality on the other half of the pitch too. Aztecs trying to spread the ball around in the early going. Bidet, the French international, stepping forward. 4th season with the Aztecs. Back to action after missing 2024. Started 17 matches for this group last year. Finished its campaign 9-4-7, 4-2-4 in league. They got a 1-0 win over Colorado State in the Mountain West quarterfinal. And drew Boise State in the semi, and the Broncos advanced on penalties. It was a very new-look group to start last season. They got a lot of work in on the defensive side of the ball, locked in on those principles, and now as they grow into this 2026 campaign, it's going to be an interesting group to see what they look like from an attacking standpoint. Liked what they got out of UC San Diego. Washington, obviously a tough one with their pressure as the Aztecs play one in off the head of Seawright and out for an SDSU corner. And they'll be putting it to the test sooner than later. This wrapping up a 3-match homestand. Then they'll be at Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, and Utah Valley for welcoming Pepperdine in on September 17th. Aztecs try and take the corner short. Tigers aware of it and send it out. And Pacific will make a third substitution here before we hit the midway mark of this opening half. Marin Valencia is back to the bench, and Phelan Berkowitz, one of the starters from last time around, the redshirt senior out of Chico. Now clocks in for work. Geiger with time for SDSU, wants to go direct for Bidet. A lot of control, a lot of possession for San Diego State. And this first 20 minutes and change. Both shots for the Aztecs on target. One shot for Pacific off target so far. They find Moore in some good space. Watch out for Moore when she gets onto that left foot. Both goals from Kenny Moore, the match winners that we talked about, both from outside the 18-yard box. Against the Tritons and the Vikings for the first 2 Aztec wins of the year. Still working on the right side. They'll play back to Fuller. Back on to Gerson, taking these moments to reset when they don't find the space there. You draw that defense out, looking to open up some pockets. Miller running against a couple Tigers defensively. Trying to hold it tight to that touchline, and Pacific wins the battle to win the ball back. Just the third match for these Tigers over the first 14 days of the season, so haven't had a week yet where they've come in and seen matches in short succession. Now that will change this week as they stay down in San Diego and get set to take on the UC San Diego Tritons up in La Jolla on Sunday. And for Jeff Freeman's group, some of that was by design this year. He said, limit the volume early and try and figure out a little more of where we need to go. So you can hone in on those first couple matches that you have when you've got 6 days off before the next one. Dive into a scout, get back to practice, which will sharpen you up. Those turnarounds, any time of year, tough to handle, but especially early on when you're trying to establish a team and establish some identity. Nakamoto, first time back for Leith. Aztecs looking to play the header forward to Castro. Tigers there to send it out. Good physicality in the middle of the park. Bidet steps in for San Diego State, gets moving downhill. Miller surveying some options, drops it back. Then once again, front to back for SDSU. I think you see with the Aztecs when they're on the move, when they go front to back and make that decision, they do it somewhat quickly. They got the ball up around the 18-yard box. They want to be getting into the box, and if they don't, it's oftentimes, if they're not facing a lot of pressure, they'll send it back to the back line, stretch the defense out, get an opportunity like you see here, right at the feet of Castro, who strikes to make it 2-0. Naima Castro with her first goal as an Aztec. And the San Diegan out of Patrick Henry High School back home and onto the scoreboard. Let the San Diego State offense off and running here in the opening 45. Little stop and go from Moore that time. And it just got right past Seawright. Seawright was in position, stepped for the ball, missed it, and it opened it up for a perfect chance for Castro, who slots it away. So San Diego State 2, Pacific 0, and for an Aztec team that was looking for a little more offensive juice, be a little more clinical around the goal and in the final third, they're getting that to start this match. And Castro feeling it after opening her San Diego State account. Sen in the 13th, Castro in the 25th. Aztecs 2, Tigers 0. So now Pacific with just the one shot thus far. I'll have to try and find a way to get out of that defensive half a little more. And San Diego State has been able to control things, as we mentioned, from that standpoint of pace. Really able to dictate and get on a lot of the ball early in this match. So anytime you go down that second goal, now it's okay. Maybe the sense of urgency hits you a little bit quicker to see what you can do to flip it, what you can do to try and change things. We did see some of those early substitutions for Jeff Freeman and the Tigers. But right now, on the back foot, down a couple goals on the road. Aztecs still with that patience that we mentioned. Nice and easy on the build-off. Every shot that they've taken so far has been on target, all three of them. Nakamoto shielding it off, resets out the back here to Brianna Geiger. Another San Diegan and a fellow Patrick Henry Patriot, along with Naima Castro. Nakamoto finding Leith, trying to hold up the run, crosses one in, lands in the box, and the left-footed effort goes. Katie Sen gets on a double. Then the Aztecs are off and running here to a 3-0 lead. Less than 3 minutes after the Castro tally. Good hold up by Leith on the run. Bounces around the back a little bit with Garn trying to settle it down defensively. Sen on the spot and clinical. And again, these off-ball runs with Sen, that's what that pressure in the wide area can open up for San Diego State. Now the Tigers on the other end, battling through. A little bit of contact play on here. Well, it's back on out to Carlin. Two goals in 45 NCAA matches for Sen coming in. She's got 2 tonight. Scored in back-to-back matches a season ago. Had one of the biggest goals of the SDSU campaign at Pepperdine on match day number 5. Got the Aztecs a 3-2 road win, spurned them to 3 consecutive wins, and they went on a really solid unbeaten streak that led into conference in a matchup with Boise State after that win against the Waves. Tigers on the move, looking to pull one back. Haven't spent a lot of time in the attacking third so far. Sen intervening, and Sen gives away a foul as Kaya Rosa, the senior out of Newark, wins a free kick. Had a goal at Sacramento State, fell behind in that match 3-0, got 2 back, hit a crossbar that would have made it 3 for the Tigers. Or the Hornets added a couple more for a 5-2 scoreline on match day 1. Free kick here, just eyeballing this thing. Call it about 26, 27 yards out. Tigers go direct and sky that one out on the effort from Rosa. Make another substitution here as they'll bring Julie Valdez into action, one of the starters from last time around as well. Freshman out of Fresno for her 3rd NCAA appearance. Looking for something to try and turn the tide. That last exchange was a good one, setting up a free kick in a dangerous area. West Pacific looks to dig into a 3-0 deficit. Aztecs threatening early and often. The double was Sen. 3 goals for SDSU in a matter of less than 12 minutes. Carson looking to skip the lines. A little bit of pressure by Miller after Pacific settles on it. Poland leaves it on back for Wells. That one goes out off of San Diego State for a goal kick. Now talk about Wells, who brings in some good shot stopping ability. She's been put in a couple tough spots by the back line so far. I really like the presence, like the explosiveness and the dynamic ability she brings to the back. And it'll be interesting to see how things go between Wells and Liz von Hervinen, the sophomore for this group, but a veteran nonetheless. Carson lifts it to escape some of that pressure from Bell, and it might be Pacific at this point a matter of saying, let's try and make them uncomfortable on the ball. Bell tracking this one down, battles in to get a deflection, stays in the San Diego State 18. Geiger trying to get it away. Now Nakamoto looking to find a way through, and it's an Aztec throw, but Pacific can stay set up with a high pressure look and wants to do that here. Aztecs are going to make 5 swaps for the Tigers, just 1, as Carly Hall checks into the match. Alana Gonzalez, KK Chiwana Bandu, Rory Schenk, Mia Hombro Svensson, and Caroline Lundstrom all into action for San Diego State. Swapping out half of the outfield contingent here. So a little bit extra rest for the crew coming off. And the Aztecs, for their part, looking ahead. Their next match isn't until Thursday of next week at Oklahoma State. So nothing on the near horizon as far as trying to take some minutes off in this opening half. Like what they're doing offensively, and a chance to get a few more student athletes involved in that now. They continue working on these early season connections. San Diego State dispossessed. Bell down the right side, draws a couple Aztec defenders. Few options in the box for the Tigers. Aztecs take it away, clear it along to the back lines, and Gagliano gets Pacific going again. Long ball from Seawright. Tracked down by Kenny Moore. Berkowitz applying some pressure, not enough on it for Moore to be able to usher it out, but gets it up the pitch a little bit, and San Diego State can get into its defensive shape. Now Schenk with the Aztecs. Great weight to that pass to find Nakamoto, who's got options on either side. Shawana Bandu overlapping Nakamoto. Sent away by the Tigers. Bidet in the space to try and keep it in, and now Pacific looking for the run forward. Bit of a bump that time by Nakamoto, wins it back for SDSU. And Shawana Bandu stood up and fouled that time by Vila Gren. KK Shawana Bandu, very dangerous, and entered the starting lineup against Portland State. Good and dynamic on the ball, and well, we knew we were going to have it a lot, Mike Friesen said, so now it's can we get KK and try and push the Vikings into areas they don't want to be in, then get her on the ball where she can shoot and create. Shawana Bandu playing it long, that's over the top and out for a goal kick. So Sen, as we mentioned, picking up a double for the first time in her NCAA career, and the last time an Aztec did that, it was Alexis Leith as part of that goal-scoring stretch in the Mountain West. 2-2 draw at Colorado State, October of last year. Trying to play it long. Bell in a good space is onside. They get the entry, get the cross away, rolling all the way through. Nice advance that time for the Tigers as the Aztecs hustle on it to keep it in play here. Stays on out. Still an Aztec throw as we send it to Megan Townsley.
Thanks, David. Well, Coach Freeman for the Tigers highlighted the closeness of this group, even though they're very young. And one of the more intense team bonding events that he told us about was taking a self-defense class at MMA fighter Nate Diaz's gym, where the team got to not only learn self-defense, but also hang out with Diaz after the class. So not your typical team bonding, but very fun and athletic nonetheless. David?
Tigers looking to punch back. Shots on and parried aside by Carlin. No, she didn't get a touch to it. Thought live that she'd gotten some hands on it, but good look for Pacific. Takeaway that time by Valdez, setting it up just inside the box for Avery Thal off the bench, and just a whisker wide of the post. Yeah, it made it very clear right away, and they wouldn't do this anyway. But Coach said that, you know, they were up at the NDA Academy, and he's like, yeah, we obviously didn't get into the ring and start throwing punches with us. You're not going to take too many risks as far as these team bonding activities go. They also had a cool moment in the offseason. They had a visit from Sarah Warren, so played for Jeff Freeman when he was at Illinois, and she was an Olympian with United States speed skating. Came out, spent a couple days with the team, got to hang around a little bit. It's always fun to hear about some of those things. Sometimes they all make it to social media, sometimes they don't, but either way, that's a really cool piece of just college athletics, the unique time that you get to come out and bond with the group, do some of these team activities. And I always like asking the student athletes when they get later on in their careers, or what some of their favorite moments are. A lot of them come down to, hey, some of the stuff that we did in the case for soccer off the pitch. So some fun ways for this group to come together and integrate in the offseason. Bell in with the sliding challenge in the 37th minute, so Anna Bell will go into the book for the Tigers away, and yeah, no space for Gerson to land. Even if you do get a piece of the ball, you come crashing into somebody like that and essentially take them out, you're going to get a yellow card for that. Shawana Bandu out of Westlake High up in Oak Park. Picked up an exhibition goal for the Aztecs. A 3-1 win over San Diego. Takes a little bit of contact down to ground, and San Diego State will set up for a free kick. That's Gerson set up alongside that back three of Her and Geiger and Hambros Svensson really 5 Aztecs in the mix that can step into that back line. They've got some good depth in that part of the pitch coming up to the year. Goes on out of play, and the throw-in goes back. And part of that was bringing Charlie Gerson into a central position. She was starting out in that right center back spot in the back three for SDSU, and then all preseason matches, couple injuries, had to shuffle some things around, step back in that central defensive position that Grace Goins had done so well in for so many years for San Diego State. And it didn't take long for Friesen and the staff to say, I don't know if we can take her out of that spot. But they sure have some depth and some versatility to try and mix and match, and they're enjoying a terrific attacking start to this one. 3-0 lead at home here in the opening 45. Now Chawana Bandu. Space to dribble in. Trying to play it through for Nakamoto. First time ball lands in the 18, and that effort put over and out. Nice look going forward there for San Diego State. That was Alana Gonzalez, freshman out of Fontana and Etiwanda High School. And that's been a lot of the ticket. Start out wide, service from the wide areas, get your runner in on the other end of it. Had to try and pick that thing out the air and just couldn't get on top of it. But good positioning that time for Gonzalez off the bench here for SDSU. Kayla Pham into the match. It's part of a double substitution for the Tigers. They're also getting Caroline Carr into action. So Pacific has continued to go into that bench. Already 7 opening half substitutions. This group that finished the season 4-9-6 last year, so they got results in more than half of their matches. Step up to the WCC competition and challenge, finished 10th out of 12 there. One NCAA tournament all-time coming out of the Big West back in 1998. The conference double made the round of 32. First Big West team to advance past that opening round. In conference history, been in the WCC for a little more than a decade now, a conference that continues to see change and will continue to do so into next season. League that welcomed in Denver this year, lost Gonzaga, Oregon State, and Washington State to the Pac-12, where the Aztecs are. They're getting set to welcome in UC San Diego and UC Santa Barbara next season. Round it back out to 12 teams in the WCC. And one of the last leagues in the country to not feature a conference tournament, that is changing this year. Play it over the top. Bell with the offside flag staying down. A crash through the back and a free kick. Big physical challenge with the Aztecs trying to play catch up defensively. And now we'll see some tending to as Mike Friesen out for San Diego State. Trying to have a word about that last play. Rajan Ladd is also out to have a look. One more look on this one from behind for SDSU. I mean, foul from the back. That's an interesting piece about denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. It looks like Pacific is going to go ahead and levy a challenge, and I think this is a good one to use. As you see, Geiger down for San Diego State. So part of the rule changes across college soccer this year, the formalized challenge system. where you get 2 challenges per match. We've seen a couple already on the sports deck be successful so far this year. Not a lot in the way of consequential ones on the women's side. But part of what you can look at, and this is presumably what they're checking out here, is stopping a promising attack or denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunities, the proper punishment for that. And when you catch somebody after they're in behind you like that, that's something that, no doubt, I think with video review could be elevated. Didn't see a yellow card come out live, but I would be surprised if this one came up with just nothing out of the break. Geiger completely behind the play. And good to see her get back up to her feet. But some potential big-time implications here as Haley Morahone and the crew has a look. Foul, for what it was worth, appeared to happen just outside the box. You see Jeff Freeman there talking with AR Nathan Max. So taking an extended time here to make sure they're getting things right. But no doubt, more implementation of this than we've seen in years past. The question looming here, if it's that denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Also the potential that they're looking at the spot of the foul. But I think from what we saw, it was pretty clearly outside the 18-yard box and not in it here. Now you can see that indication, that raising of the right knee, kind of exactly how that challenge went down. Either way, if you're successful on a challenge, you don't get it back, and then the referees can, at their discretion, anytime correct some administrative things in the way of VAR. And it looked like this may well be coming back for having been offside, or it's reversed, and now for San Diego State. Yeah, so they'll march it back to the point of that initial pass. So, okay. Totally the other direction there. Offside flag goes up. That's the other interesting piece, is that you can go march back and take a look at things that happened from earlier in the play. Now you wipe out the rest of that action, and for San Diego State, it stops from a potentially dangerous opportunity that you have to defend from right outside your box. And how these games go, with how important these types of goals and these big moments are, I think what you're going to see more of is head coaches choosing to use these challenges instead of hanging on to them. And the other wrinkle there is, once you get past 80 minutes, if team has used both of its challenges, then the referees can come in and instigate any sort of challenge that a team would be able to challenge. So how does that discretion come into play? Will be very interesting to follow that development this year and the continued increased use of VAR. I think part of what makes it difficult is you've got so many officiating crews that have to work around the country. I mean, at the NCAA level, compared to any level of professional soccer, it's just far more. So the consistency on a venue-to-venue basis, and what referees choose to use at their discretion, that's the challenge of the job for sure. Aztecs back on the march. Nakamoto in a good spot, couldn't square it up. It's ended up underneath it that time. That's more of the same for San Diego State. After that restart, Cross comes in, 1, 2, 3 hops, and all that space in the box. The Aztecs are finding all sorts of room in Pacific's 18 right now. Goal kick only goes as far as Nakamoto. They'll try and turn it around quickly. Right to the right side, looking to get Gonzalez in. She steps in front of Carly Hall. Back with the left, Tigers get it away. So inside of 3 minutes to go until we get to halftime with a 3-0 San Diego State lead. Nakamoto on it once again, didn't get the first touch cleanly. Tigers send it up the pitch. Tracked down here by Weiss. Ava Weiss, who was the starter last time around, kind of rotated her in with Geiger as they get everybody back up to match fitness here in the early part of the year. And one thing Pacific has done in terms of tactical changes is playing a little bit of high pressure, trying to stop San Diego State from getting out of it and a half comfortably. Risk that you run is these types of runouts. Aztecs streaking forward. Joanna Bandu turning it centrally herself. Fakes the shot with the right, steps into one and wins a free kick. Foul that time going against Seawright, and another free kick opportunity. This one will be in a really good spot for SDSU. Turn it right, Seawright stepping into the space. Bandu was trying to get around her and just kind of stopped up. I don't think she was expecting Joanna Bandu to go directly at her after the little shake. Joanna Bandu goes right away, drives it through the wall, and it's parried aside. So Wells ready to spring into action there for the Tigers. Make a second save of this opening 45. Hard challenge, a yellow card comes out, and SDSU now with a frozen clock can take its time to get this thing going. Nora Colin, the one cautioned after that last challenge. Four options on the far post, 2 drifting on the near post. Now they all kind of mesh together as Moore serves it up right to the doorstep and caught in traffic by Wells. Goes up and gets it, 20 seconds to go. Tigers will launch it long, see if they can get one more look. Back at the feet of Gerson for San Diego State. Some long passes through the middle of the park. Aztecs play it out wide, goes out into touch. And that's how the first half will come to a close. Well, San Diego State bringing its shooting boots to this one. San Diego State, 3 opening half goals. Aztecs spreading the ball around, a double from Katie Sen. 13th and 27th minutes around Naima Castro picking up her first NCAA goal in the 25th. Aztecs 3, Tigers 0. We'll step aside here at the break and be back with some of our halftime content. Pac-12 women's soccer rolls on after this in San Diego. Well, a sensational first half for San Diego State. The Aztecs up 3-0 over the Pacific Tigers, thanks in part to a double from Katie Sen. First double of her NCAA career, sandwiched around a tally by Naima Castro. Aztecs had that 3-0 lead by the 27th minute. 8 shots, 6 of them on frame, so ultra efficient with the chances. 2 shots for Pacific, did not get one on frame in the opening 45. So let's take a look at some of the impact moments of this opening half, a half in which the Aztecs enjoyed 63% of the possession, and they got it going early. Dangerous looks down the left side. Alexis Nakamoto knocking it into the box, and Katie Sen running on the other end of it for her first goal of 2026. Naima Castro in the 25th, setting up in a good spot. Got the defender flyby for the goal, and one more time for Sen, taking it from Leith and Nakamoto, who assisted on both Sen goals in the opening 45 minutes. Aztecs 3, Tigers 0. We'll step aside once again, come back, take an extended look at highlights, and get Megan Townsley's thoughts on the first half. Aztecs on top, 3-0. Oh, the lights shining bright here at the SDSU Sports Deck tonight, as are the Aztec attackers in that opening half. Katie Sen with the double, Naima Castro picking up a goal, and San Diego State taking a 3-0 lead inside of 27 minutes, and that is the lead that they hold into the half. We're going to take a look at some extended highlights here, and while we do, Megan Townsley, impressions on that first half when San Diego State was
Katie Sen, who we've talked about plenty, well-deserved during the first half. But especially what I'm loving is the overlapping runs we've seen on the outside. KK Chwana Bandu and Alexis Nakamoto have been finding a strong connection. Alexis Leith also being a great distributor there on the outside, and her speed has really been fascinating to watch today. And one thing that really caught my attention is before the match, we talked with Coach Freeman about what the defense in the back line can do to slow down San Diego State's offense. And he said they have to play compact. They can't open up passing lanes. So that's something that they're definitely going to have to come into the second half thinking strongly about.
Well, they started out playing compact, and then they started pressuring the ball a little bit more. I think one thing for Pacific that we'll be interested to look at, do they continue that pressure? Because San Diego State, I think, just had it too easy getting forward in the opening 45. We got a lot of work to do to try and get back into this one. The Aztecs look to stay on the front foot when we come back for the second half. That'll be on the other side of this break with Pac-12 Women's Soccer. No. 3-0 lead for San Diego State over Pacific as we welcome you back in for Pac-12 Women's Soccer. David Gentile here to get you ready for the second half. Megan Townsley also here to get us ready for the second half, and Megan's got a little more going into the second 45.
Well, David, at the end of the half, we saw the Tigers under some pretty serious frustration, some hastiness, a few calls at the end of the game, and a couple yellow cards. So the keys for them going to the second half is to settle the game down. Don't get frustrated when you see some of the cleanliness and technicality coming from SDSU. Then on the other side of the match, Coach Friesen told us before the game that the SDSU Aztecs need to control the chaos, play through it, but also settle down themselves. So we'll see if this game will end with clean sheets or if the Tigers can get one on the board.
Well, Bell and Cullen both picking up the yellows after the third San Diego State goal. So the Tigers looking to fight their way back into this one. Takes a village to bring you this thing. Pac-12 Women's Soccer, and a shout out to our production crew tonight. Kyler McPhillips, our PA. Andres Flores, John O'Brien, Alex Sharon on camera. Zach Savage running graphics. Andres Esquero on replay. Kat Kohaloon producing. Sean Scarborough directing. Andrew Burton, our executive producer. And a big thank you as well to the sports information directors, Michael Gutnick with Pacific and Sam Myers of San Diego State, helping us get ready to rock. Tigers in the white, they'll kick us off to start the second half, attacking right to left. San Diego State in the scarlet and black, attacking left to right. On a busy night around these two conferences, some of the action elsewhere in the WCC has seen Santa Clara and Seattle pick up home wins over UC Davis and Nevada. San Diego drawing at Cal Poly, Pepperdine drawing at Texas Tech, both by scores of 1-1. Denver with a 0-0 draw at home against Colorado College, and San Francisco falling 2-0 on the road at Dartmouth. Aztecs making some noise in their dugout before we officially get this second half going. And 3 goals to the good, finding some of that offensive rhythm, some of that clinical finishing that they felt like they lacked last time around against Portland State. Didn't waste a lot of time getting it going here. So here we go with half number 2 from the sports deck. Carlin back in net for San Diego State with Schenk, Gerson, Sen, Moore, Chawana Bandu, Fuller, Hombro, Svensson, Lundstrom, Gonzalez, and Weiss. The 11 for Mike Friesen's crew on a warm Thursday night here in San Diego. And the Tigers countering with Wells, Marin Valencia, Valdez, Gagliano, Bell, DeJoya, Garn, Villagrán, Rosas, Seawright, and Cullen. Well, their first attacking looks of the second half. Get it back out here for Valdez, setting up on the right. Pretty good look from range, and Carlin stretching out. Makes the save for San Diego State and forces a corner, and that's a positive front foot move for the Tigers here out of the break. Curling away, and Carlin taking no chances, going and getting it. Sophomore out of right here in San Diego and Chula Vista. Tigers take the corner short, and that one goes awry, so not able to make anything off that second opportunity. But good look from range from Valdez, creating a dangerous chance. I heard the thoughts from Megan of what we got from Jeff Freeman, head coach of the Tigers, about, hey, we got to stay compact. A little more pressure here in the attacking half. Just be the ticket for this team. It tries to settle in, establish some footing. And second time this season, already in 3 matches that it's been down 3 goals. 3-0 against Sacramento State, getting the 2 back and ultimately dropping that one 5-2. Aztecs trying to play out the back. They do it with Gonzalez dropping into a deeper position here. And then part of some of that interchange to get forward. Now could create a numbers advantage along the left side. This is Fuller leading the charge, connecting with Chawana Bandu. Overlapping run from Fuller. Aztecs go end to end. First time cross is cut out. Chowana Bandu, physicality and the strength to stay on the ball, fights through some contact, keeps possession. Lundstrom surveying for San Diego State. Moore with that left foot as it blocked up high. Some calls for a handball there for SDSU. McCullen in the right spot at the right time to block that one away. Again, one of a lot of freshmen in the mix, the Spokane, Washington native. This one ends up tight to the touchline. Aztec stretch from Hombro Svensson to keep it in play. And now DeJoya with it, just overshot trying to find Garn. We'll talk about those score lines for the Tigers. 7 goals against, 3-4 to start. Now, despite those numbers, they outpossessed and outshot their first 2 opponents. Created a lot of opportunities, and Coach Freeman saying by comparison, look, we only scored 14 goals a season ago, so like what we got. Moore this time with the right off the bar. Aztecs can't bring it down on the second chance, and well, Kenny Moore, who's shown off the dangerous left foot, that time goes to the opposite side and just about gives the Aztecs a 4th goal. Dipped back down and hit the frame. So it was sinking, but just not enough to find its way in. Backside look, you could see it start to drop. I think might have even been fingertips to it from Wells on the way down. Now Sen breaks free. Sets up on the right, sends ball in. It's blocked away. Tigers getting into a good spot to stop that potential service. On out of play off of San Diego State and Lundstrom. And so talking about that goal scoring record of last year for the Tigers, Coach Freeman saying by comparison, I thought we created some great chances. That ability is there for us. We just have to get on the finishing end of it. I love the attacking side, love the opportunities, and big part of that in particular is not taking too many shots from range. Finding some good chances in and around the box, and just have to make sure that we're finishing those off. So that's been a difference maker along the first 2 contests, but they've run into a much more stout defensive side here on match day 3 against San Diego State. Forced a couple stretches out of Carlin, but just not enough volume to deal with the barrage on the other end for SDSU. Gonzalez moving forward, out wide for Schenk. Lots of options in the box. Schenk crosses, looking for Gonzalez. Second effort header saved. Fuller keeps the Aztecs on the move, finds Sen. Couple Tigers converging, so the Aztecs will play it back. They're keeping a lot of these numbers forward for the moment. See if they can play it back into that area, but slid out once again. Pump that time from Sen, going up against Bell. Wins it back for San Diego State. Grab on the turn for Chowana Bandu. It's a foul and an Aztec free kick with Mila Grand defending. Lots of options to pick out. Good service from Schenk, and the headed effort that time close from Chowana Bandu. Wells holding ground at close distance. Sen setting up for service. They have a lot of different things that they'll do off of these set pieces. Gonzalez running through for the top of the box. Sen will roll it in low and quickly back out. Trying to go right to the doorstep, and Seawright deals with that one. Somebody who does a lot of work from a defensive standpoint, but also Jeff Freeman noting really key in setting the play for the Tigers on the attacking side of things. So grabs the jersey that time, and a free kick for San Diego State. Number provides a good presence in the back for the Tigers. Seawright did have that step through that on an overplay led to a Castro goal back in the opening half. But has had a lot to do in the box. Just haven't been able to find too many ways to clog up San Diego State's attacks, and particularly how the Aztecs have gotten through the middle of the park and out wide. Deflected on through, and a clean take for Wells. Decent service that time. Might have come off the bottom of the boot there from Hombro Svensson. Back out for a San Diego State throw. And Mike Friesen saying specifically about Portland State, look, we controlled that thing, but we won 1-0. That's the kind of game we need to win 3-0. This is based on the creation and quality of chances, making sure we're good in those moments. And so that was the first time, and going back to some pretty good exhibition wins, including one over USC here at home. Said first time we really gotten out there this season, and I thought we just weren't fantastic in some of those phases of the game. So especially in that first half, thought there were 2 or 3 times when we could have added on to the lead and just weren't sharp enough to do it. But able to come out and do so in the first half tonight. So I think that'll be a positive too, specifically how fast they got off and running. Not just that you get 3 goals and we'll see where it ends up, but come up with 3 goals in a matter of 27 minutes. I think they're putting into practice some of those finishing looks that we're going to see more out of last time around. This one takes a deflection off of San Diego State. Defensive work for the Aztecs as Bell trying to keep that point scoring streak going. Played in all 19 for this group last year without a point. Won in each of the first 2 matches here in 2026. A lot of loft to this one off the corner. Aztecs getting bodies in the way. Tigers play it back out. Other first-time cross with some lift, headed goalward, and Carlin takes that effort off the head of Cullen. Trying to continue to establish some attacking flow here. Much better look off the corner to keep that pressure on. You continue to stack those moments where you're getting advances on goal. I think Pacific has seen it be more positive offensively so far in the second half. Ended up with a short cross, a lot of air under it. Going to be hard to do anything too threatening on goal with that much air under the ball coming in. Ball came in on a hop. Aztecs trying to control it. They do so in the midfield. Ability to control the ball and connect a lot of passes has really been standout for San Diego State this year. Super high passing percentages. Very clean, very technical soccer from this group so far. Fuller. Back for Chawana Bandu, steps over, drives it in with the left, right to the face of goal and put home. Rory Schenk running on the other end of it. Gets the Aztecs a 4th goal before the hour mark. More of the same for San Diego State. Attack wide, get a cross in, get a runner on it. Driven with pace. A great ball from Chawana Bandu, keeping it out of the reach of Wells. Setting up Schenk for tap-in territory. And for the Flower Mound, Texas native, that's a first NCAA goal in match number 20 for Rory Schenk. Didn't see a lot of high-volume minutes in matches last season. Did get on the pitch 16 times for NU. Shank, who spent the 24 season with the Auburn Tigers, looking to expand on a role here into 2026. Gets the setup from Chowana Bandu, and it's 4-0 San Diego State. First NCAA point for Chowana Bandu, who has consistently looked dangerous, and it's really only a matter of time before she gets her first NCAA goal as well. Right back to it here, turning the corner, knocked loose, and Wells called into action. So the offensive piece coming together here for San Diego State. Well, the goal came in the first half against Portland State. I thought it was the second half when the Aztecs really looked more consistently dangerous. Here's a first-time hit, curling far post, and it's stopped by Wells. The dive off to the right with some strong hands there, trying to organize that back line as well. See what they can do to slow down this San Diego State attack. Well, this is now 11 goals conceded in 2+ matches for Pacific on the year. They're going to take it away in a really good spot, set up with the left, and put off the mark that time by Marin Valencia. The Aztecs not on the same page then, and the San Francisco native looking to pounce. So 3 Aztec goals in the first half. They went about half an hour of match time since their last one by Sen made it 3-0. Shank from Chowana Bandu in the 57th. Pacific looking to build out the back. San Diego State takes it away. Time for some subs and time to say hello again to Megan Townsley.
Thank you, David. Well, Michaela Marin Valencia just had that shot. A little off target for the Tigers, but just wanted to tell you that soccer absolutely runs in the family for Marin Valencia. Her sister Bridget played at UCLA, and UCLA's then head coach, now the coach of Texas, Marguerite Bates, sent Coach Freeman a text talking about, hey, I've got a younger sister, one of my players. Why don't you check her out? Well, that younger sister is Michaela, who's now playing not too far from her hometown of San Francisco. Back to you, David.
Yeah, thanks, Megan. Got to Pacific a little late in the recruiting process. That's always a challenge for a first-year head coach coming in, not only from a standpoint of recruiting high school athletes, but then when do you take over relative to the portal? So even if you can remake a roster pretty quickly, it still helps to have some of those kind of connections, and that was the case for Marin Valencia. Jeff Freeman and the staff, they went out, they saw her play, and said we essentially decided, let's make an offer right on that day. This is somebody that we feel like can be a difference maker for us. They call her the rule breaker, and part of her ability is just willing to do whatever the game needs in the moment. You have principles of play, you have things that you want to implement from the coaching staff to the student athletes, but a lot of problems that come up in these matches, or opportunities as well, are ones that you can't necessarily communicate immediately from the sideline. So that's some savvy, that's some game IQ, and Marin Valencia, excellent get for this group. Those are some fun stories to hear about too, because we're going to see a yellow card here for Grab, trying to stop that Aztec move going forward. Vila Grand, the latest to go into the book. But sometimes it's, hey, I know about somebody. Let me reach out to one of my fellow coaches and see about fostering that a little bit. There's a lot of pretty cool stories like that. Late on type of gets in recruiting. Some student athletes that maybe fly under the radar elsewhere or nationally, then go and get a chance to carve out a role with the squad. Four-0 Aztecs just past the hour mark. And a lot of Chowana Bandu working with Fuller on that left side in the second half. It was big time part of the Alexis show. Nakamoto and Leith doing a lot of the damage in the opening 45. And here's Fuller once again, knocked away by Gagliano. Tigers looking to make the move the other direction. Aztecs quickly win it back and can try and settle in and get on it with the throw. Now Freeman coming over 14 seasons with Illinois, 8 as the associate head coach, 1 as an interim head coach for the likes of Vanessa DiBernardo and company. Group that made the round to 32 3 times in his tenure there. Such an Flaws break the program's scoring record, and coach shouting out his assistants, both in their second year, Joel Bancroft and Taylor Liddell Book. The Aztecs saw on the other side, former UNLV keeper, saying, look, Liddell Book, young in this profession, but wise beyond her years, and then gave some props to Bancroft for what he did with St. Anselm College in New Hampshire. Top 25 team. Calling him a tremendous head coach for what he was able to do. He said he jumped on board and done really well as a recruiting coordinator, building relationships, creating some excitement for us, and now showing in the fact that of those 26s, talking about the freshmen coming in this year, he said we've got 8 freshmen, already 7 of them have played. So some of the young student athletes and the newcomers have made their mark early on. We'll stop and go here from Berkowitz. On back for Seawright, surveying the options, wanted to hit it long. Pham had cut in, and Hombro Svensson falls back for San Diego State. Aztecs with an entirely new coaching staff here. Only the second time that has happened for Mike Friesen in his tenure, now running into season number 20. But Matt Hall, who spent a couple seasons over San Diego, helped Greg Laporte build up that program to some good heights and an 8-match unbeaten streak. The start last season, longest in program history. Kai Edwards has been around the block quite a bit in the NCAA coaching ranks. Somebody who Friesen has known for a long time, most recently at Southern Utah, so those two now with the chance to work together. And also got Carlsbad native Camille Ham on staff. Now, the only other time that had happened for San Diego State was, well, here that they had the #1 record in the country, made the Sweet 16 back in 2012. So a little tongue-in-cheek from Coach saying, hey, no pressure. But that is the standard when it's a full new crop of assistant coaches. Chowana Bandu looking for a runner, and Wells there to scoop it up. Tracked out in the middle of the park, Whitney Garnt is possessed by SDSU and Kana Smith. So Smith, number 4 in the Scarlet and Black, saw her come on, and she made her NCAA debut against Portland State on Sunday to start the second half. And a lot of times when you see that, it's let's get somebody in for a spell, and then you go and you get your feet wet. Let's bring them off the pitch and use that one reentry role. Maybe you bring them back in later on. She ended up playing the full 45 of the second half, got a really good chance early. And asked Coach, was that your plan to keep her out there the full 45? Initially, he said, no, it actually wasn't, but she had such a big impact that we thought she was going to goal or help us create one, so we just went out and let her run. So another really explosive playmaking type, and Well, that's the thing. Just getting going here, and Leith and Nakamoto continuing to expand their roles, coming off of productive campaigns a year ago. Now taking that step forward, they can consistently be dangerous. You throw Smith into that mix, and you got all kinds of options. Tigers trying to be opportunistic, but the Aztecs get it away after a poor ball out that time from Carlin. Quickly able to recover and defend. I think that's one thing when you look at some of these details about sharpening up for San Diego State. The Aztecs have had a couple moments in the back tonight where they've given the ball away right around the 18-yard box. Look back to the only other goal they've conceded this year. It was off a penalty that started out as an SDSU goal kick against Washington. And the pocket picked by Alex Buck, who was run into. To be fair, it wasn't the most obvious pen when you go back and look at it. But still, the build-up and the lead-up to it, the misstep to give the ball away far too easily around the 18-yard box. Still something that they'll have to go back, check out on film, and try and see whether it was, I mean, that one before, fairly obvious on the ball from Carlin, but one prior to that, when we saw the opportunity from Marin Valencia, was just a misconnection of the pass in the back. So both teams getting set to make a couple substitutions. Miller and Leith will re-enter the match in a moment for San Diego State. Pacific also getting set to bring two off the bench, including one of their starters, Kenyon Tucker. Tigers take that pass over the top. Aztecs can immediately step forward, try and make some things uncomfortable here. Pass out into a tight space. Tigers do well to track it down, just keep it in that time by Berkowitz. Gerson starts the move. Moore, the Yakima native, has continued to be dangerous from San Diego State. Commits the foul here, and it goes back the other direction. Aztecs have added two more. Getting ready to roll on the touchline. Mia DeJohn, the sophomore out of Boulder, will check back in, and Nakamoto joins the other two. Goes out for a San Diego State throw, and both teams can make their changes. It's Avery Thal that'll also check back in for Pacific alongside Tucker. It's an interesting week coming into week two. You've seen a lot of shakeup, a lot of upsets around the country. And Mike Friesen talking to us earlier this week saying, look, as a college coach, I just look at it like you can survive some of these moments when maybe you're not at your best. And that's a really positive sign to see. Still get results. He said that's pretty phenomenal for us. So excited where the team is at. The team excited as well. Another opportunity here, smothered that time by Wells. But now you get to that point in the season. We'll take another look here with Leith making the move through once again. Drove one in. That time was ready to go. I said, look, you got everything coming together. You know, we've been in preseason training, at the extra weeks of allotment in the offseason from the NCAA this year. So now we've got school that started on Monday. We're getting ready to travel next week. Got some big matches coming up. Group with some real buzz about where it's at and the potential that it has this season. Fourth in the Pac-12 preseason coaches poll, only the third time in the last 17 years that the Aztecs have been picked outside the top two. Looking for Nakamoto up that left side. Gagliano goes and gets in the way. Kana Smith, another dangerous option, working in from the left. Back for Sen, still setting the tempo in that San Diego State midfield. Sen driving up that left side. Feels the contact, watches it out for a San Diego State corner. Second corner of the match for the Aztecs, who have gotten away 14 shots, 9 of them on target. 4 of them leading to goals. Take the corner short and send on out for a throw. Most goals that they've scored since a 4-0 win against Nevada back on September 18th of last year. And part of a pretty strong stretch of soccer for this group a season ago. Again, always apt to play a challenging schedule. They're typically one of the teams that comes out with the top strength of schedule in non-con in the Mountain West. And nothing new here, making the move to the Pac-12. Some big-time road matches on the near horizon. Sen had that goal for this group at Pepperdine a season ago that really kind of kick-started things and come off some early season matchup. And a loss at home against Texas Tech. Really quality side. Loss on the road against Stanford, and then 3 straight wins, and then just rattled off a really solid unbeaten streak. See this one brought back for a free kick. Nine matches without a loss, 5 wins and 4 draws through the start of conference. Nevada, part of the beginning of that in the Mountain West opener. That last time the team netted 4 goals. Aztecs will get set to face Pepperdine, 2 teams that, well, typically see each other quite a bit in non-conference, and the one common denominator is those can be some crazy battles, and that was the case last year. Again, at Oklahoma State, at Texas Tech, at Utah Valley, then back home prior to conference play for Pepperdine in Northern Colorado. And the Pac-12 opener, how about this, October 1st, against the defending regular season champs in Boise State right here on the Sports Deck. Regular season champs, that is, in the Mountain West, but they come over and resume what's become a pretty fun matchup between these two sides. Texas State, Oregon State, Washington State, and Utah State away for the Aztecs this year in league. Looking for more is Leith, and Alexis Leith goes just wide. Running right at goal, 3 teammates off to the right, lot to have to defend, and Leith, who's been delivering up some pretty consistently quality service, that time opens up the space to the right, and good angle from behind the goal there, just by about a foot, maybe a little bit more. What a good time to have a go. That's that dual threat that can be very dangerous if she can develop it. I think that was a good time and the right call to have a shot. A lot of the action that we've seen so far has been about out wide and then pressing in. That time started out from a more central position. Plenty of teammates to open up the space and get the shot away. As San Diego State will go ahead and make a goalkeeping change. And an Aztec debut here for Sammy Martinez, a Watsonville native out of St. Francis High School and transfer from Oregon State. Hartnell College 2 seasons ago. So first D1 action for Martinez here tonight as Carlin takes a seat. Didn't have a lot to do, Kaylee Carlin, but was able to make a couple good saves for SDSU tonight. In fact, just one officially on the register, and had tracked down a few more that like she was close to getting a hand to him. DeJohn driving in, getting it to Miller. Back to Hombro Svensson. Really more of the same to keep those good possession numbers going into the second half. 63% at the break for San Diego State. And it was a good first 5 minutes for the Tigers, but the Aztecs kept knocking at the door and got the Rory Shank goal in the 57th. Tigers stepping here. DeJohn turns. Finds the pass to center it up. Lundstrom navigating traffic back out for Sen. And these kinds of stretches connecting so many passes in a row. They're going to be bumped off the ball here, but tracked down by Miller. And the control of the game is good. The understanding between the Aztecs is good. It's great possession, great passing for this group, and very progressive today. Continuing to find some of those dangerous moments to get forward, and really that's kind of been the story of the match, is Miller that time stepping in, trying to create a little havoc then from Wells. Trying to find a pass a little bit up the pitch, taken back by Sadie Fletcher. DeJohn tracking back, ends up back on it for Hombro Svensson. Gerson goes around the horn. Aztecs will start the move around the back once again. Miller with the turn. Now starting forward, two options to her left. They can get onside. Miller keeping it herself. Victoria Miller all the way through for her second goal of the season. And that is the fifth for San Diego State. The turnaround, Colon to start it all off. Two options in the left. They fall back, stay onside. That occupies two defenders. Gagliano stepping through, but ultimately all the space that Miller needed. A run that started inside her own half for the Mountain West all-newcomer performer from last year ends in a San Diego State goal. Second goal of the season, seventh as an Aztec. 5-0 San Diego State. Had a really good start to last season, had some injury troubles late. If it was Miller early, it was Leith late leading the Aztec attack. Got both back and in a good spot to start this new campaign, and San Diego State going to be off to a 3-1 start. Let's check in again with Megan Townsley.
David, SDSU has been so in sync today. And actually, before this game, I asked Coach Friesen if this team has done any unique team bonding before the season. Coach said they actually all listened to a book together. John Gordon's The 7 Commitments of a Great Team specifically. And Coach said that's something they do every single year as a team. Back to you, David.
Yeah, pretty cool to see from a team building standpoint. Marshawn Gordon has written a lot of good books about teamwork. The Energy Bus, certainly one that comes to mind. They said they basically broke it down into small chunks, took it in as an audio book, then had some discussions about, well, what does that mean for our team? What do we want these principles to look like for us? So a lot of exercises within the book. The group followed it. Coach really liked the discussion that came out of it, what it sparked within the team. Kind of about some bigger picture stuff. Hey, how do we handle the ups and downs of the season when we get to those parts of the year? And really thinking less about outcomes and more about what are we going to do to make sure that we're simply just at our best day in and day out. So a lot of intentional time with this group, mapping out that culture. Nakamoto gets the cross away. Miller looking to get on the other end of that one. Ended up just out of a reach. Slid out of play the hustle that time for San Diego State and Mia DeJohn. And goes on out as San Diego State brings Maya Stinson into action. And the SDSU bench fired up for this one, as Stinson makes her SDSU debut. San Francisco State transfer coming up from the D2 level. Her sophomore season out of Chula Vista. 15 in the scarlet and black, right into the Aztec midfield. And a good time to join up with a crew that is in strong offensive form tonight. Play it over the top, stretch out here for Bell. Tracks it down, can't keep it in play as Pacific making an advance forward. Aztecs give it away, throw in here for the Tigers. Playing out wide, off the throw, cross comes in. A lot of Aztecs in the area trying to clear it outside the 18, and now they get it away from trouble, only as far as Brooklyn Cornish. So we gave you what's on the horizon for San Diego State. Pacific, as we told you about, they'll take on UC San Diego and La Jolla on Sunday, 2 o'clock. You can watch that one on ESPN+. Still a decent runway of non-conference to go. A little more on that in a moment here with the Aztecs back on the move. Miller, who had the latest goal to get San Diego State to 5. Get it here to Stinson, who tracks it down, try and reset it along the back line. Quickly forward again, Nakamoto for Leith. 2 Tigers defending. Leith shakes free to the right side. Pacific gets a boot to it, only out as far as Eva Wierzbowski. Pacific tracks it down, goes out for an Aztec through. Tigers will be home to Weber State on September 3rd. Getting into next week, then Sunday at UC Davis. And back in to take on Cal Poly and Cal State Bakersfield at home at Stockton and Knowles Field at UNLV to round out non-conference, and they'll start off league play in the WCC against LMU. Away to Portland, Santa Clara, San Francisco, and Denver. Other home matches against Seattle, Pepperdine, St. Mary's, and San Diego. Aztecs bidding for another one. Nearly getting it on with Wells coming off the line. Connor Smith trying to chip it over, just a little bit too much on it. Inside of 5 minutes to go in this one. Leith back to it, finding Stinson, leaves it back. Connection in the short spaces for the Aztecs, taken away. DeJohn, a good work rate so far, tracks it down. Stays with SDSU. Not getting DeJohn into action when they can, plays in that wing back spot, and she's running forward and at pace. Gives San Diego State quite a few good options. Very fancy flick that time for the Tigers. Could start something. This is Bell. Sprinting forward here is Pham. The San Jose native down the left side has Bell centrally. Couple more options behind him. Bell leaves it back on for Tucker. Bring it all the way around to the right. Caroline Carr keeps it in play. Carr looking to go around, and the overlapping defending that time from Weiss. Along with Castro coming over from Nevada in that former conference matchup in the Mountain West. Tigers back to work off the throw, trying to keep some numbers in the box for a little bit longer service here. DeJong goes and gets it for San Diego State. Nice touch and turn from Berkowitz. Back out into the wide area for Bell. Bell cuts it into the box. Dribble in at goal and stopped by San Diego State. Save that time from Sammy Martinez as Bell made a good move, kept the dribble going. Sometimes you see that cross get off a little bit early, continue to buy some space. Good for a couple runners to try and get on the other end of that thing, but Martinez had it walled off on the near post. Tigers back on it here, play another one in. Aztecs saying thought it would have crossed the line, but stays in play. Couple good looks for Pacific late. Aztecs on the move. They'll have the advantage here. Leith streaking forward. Alexandra Meyerstam off to her right. Leith keeps it herself, rolls it in, and rolls it home. Alexis Leith caps off a banner offensive day for San Diego State. 2 assists, and now the goal, and it's 6-0. Well, not unlike the Miller run, covering a lot of ground. Few of her teammates coming in to occupy some other defenders. And Leith with a couple fist pumps, picking up the goal for SDSU. A lot like that run that she had earlier, just starting off and staying centrally. A goal, 2 assists, and the dance moves to boot. 6th NCAA goal for Leith. Put up a good goal-scoring rate for SDSU last season. 5 of them in a little under 800 minutes of action. And hold on a sec, we're going to take a look at something here with VAR. Now, Leith, who picked up her first goal against Nevada last season, had that double against Colorado State that we talked about, a match winner against New Mexico. That clinched San Diego State a spot in the Mountain West Championship. Picked up a goal in that preseason win over USC. I don't see anything on that final action that might indicate there was something to bring back there for Leith, but again, you can go back and challenge something from earlier in the play. And we don't have a direct line of communication over there. But that doesn't matter for Alexis Leith. She said, okay, they're going to keep playing my goal song. I'm going to keep the dance party going. Yeah, she hasn't really stopped since getting back into position. Breaking it down out there for the Aztecs. Involved in 3 of their 6 goals tonight. Haley Morajon over to have a word with Jeff Freeman. The goal stands. The Aztec bench celebrating along with Leith. First goal of 2026. 6 of her NCAA career, and a secondary celebration to go. I'll play it over the top. Lee started off onside, tracks it down again. Into the box for San Diego State. and defended on out by the Tigers. Out for a goal kick. So for the Aztecs, it's 5 p.m. Pacific at Oklahoma State. That one will be on ESPN Plus in Stillwater. Thursday, Sunday, they'll stay on the road to head to Lubbock on Texas Tech, and some great momentum to take into those two matchups. Off of 2 straight home wins. Also the first time this year that they'll be leaving Greater San Diego. Stinson draws a foul. Aztec bench still well engaged in this one. Excited for their newcomer as she sets him up with perhaps one more chance. Leith and DeJohn coming over on it. Now Carlin and the bench getting involved in the dance party too. That's been that kind of night. It's been that kind of fun for San Diego State. John curls one in, bounces through everybody and crosses the line. And a 7th goal for San Diego State. Was looking to see if Stinson got a touch to that one. I believe she did. DeJohn with the service. Stinson getting there. Yeah, you could see it redirected the header on the near post. And caps off an NCAA debut with a goal. Aztecs get to 7. And that gets us to full time here at the Sports Deck. A monster scoreline for San Diego State. 7-0 over Pacific to improve to 3-1 on the season. Tigers will fall to 0-3 and have a lot to go back to the drawing board with, especially on that defensive side of the ball. For the Aztecs, it's Katie Sen with the first half double, scored in the 13th and 27th minutes. Naima Castro in the 25th, so took a 3-0 lead into the break. Then Rory Shank in the 57th, Victoria Miller and Alexis Leith with long runs in the 79th and 89th minutes. And presumably, although not official yet, Maya Stinson picking up that last goal with 8 seconds left on the clock. 19 shots, 12 on frame for San Diego State. 7 shots and 2 on target for the Tigers. Busy night for Ava Wells, coming up with 5 saves. And well, for SDSU, 1 save a pop between its 2 keepers tonight. I want to say a big thank you once again to our production crew at SDSU. Sweet Caroline, the Aztecs singing it for the home fans as they send us out. Our producer tonight, Kat Kohaloon. Director, Sean Scarborough. And Megan Townsley out on the sidelines. Take this one in for a moment. $7-0 the final once again. For all of us here at the Sports Deck, I'm David Gentili. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll see you again after the Aztec road trip. Mike Friesen and the squad off to a 3-1 start here in 2026. So long from San Diego.